it's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30. It's time for the Supplemental. Now, do you find yourself wanting to sing along with me when we do that? If you think you have a melodious voice, send it to me. Send me a PM with you going, the Supplemental. And I will amalgamate all of them into a choir effect, and we can all say the Supplemental together. I cannot tell you, I cannot stress upon you, August 29th, 0214, the machine came alive. Okay. It was 2 days ago. Oh no. No, seriously, I'm having a sidebar because Mr. Taney likes to mess with my brain. So he is here in Facebook world, but at the same time, he's over there in TikTok land, and he's making comments over there that I'm answering over here. It gets very confusing for everybody. Find a platform and stick with it. If you would, make it Facebook, because it's just easier all the way around for little old me. I don't have to buy additional equipment to make Facebook work. I do have to make additional equipment to make, thanks for liking the studio, Robert, the new background there. I got a little bored with the old one. Let's take a, he loves chaos. I am having a really tough time this morning doing show prep. And why? Look, if you don't want to get into a car accident, let me explain how you do it. You prepare. That's it. That's it, because car accidents often happen when you find yourself in a hurry. You waited too long to start doing something. Now you're in a rush. Now you're hurrying. You should look again and look again before proceeding, but you don't. You don't have time for the extra. You don't have time for it. So you drive into oncoming traffic and die. Or you press the red light and bam, it's all because you're in a hurry. But if you take the time to prepare and to plan and to relax, you can stay alive because you're safer and you make less stupid decisions. All of those things I know to be true. This morning, I tried to have my cake and eat it too, which is what you do with cake. You eat it too. But I tried to do that this morning. I tried to watch the Formula One race with my lovely betrothed so we could watch that together. But then I had to come down and get prepped for this. So I stayed up there with her as long as I could, and then I raced down here and I turned on all the lights and I started doing the things. Normally, not a problem. But because I was in a rush, bam, I got T-boned. Ha 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 ha. Now I can't get anything to work. I have asked AI to do the thing it does with me every week. Give me show prep for the Supplemental. Give me my national days of the week, and give me my multiple choice trivia exam. Give that to me, and I'll do the rest. But it can't do it. It cannot do it. I've gotten excuses, insufficient data available at this time for national days of the week. I really wish you'd stop flushing. Thank you. One of the problems with having your studio down in the basement, number one, it's much cooler, which is nice. Number two, all of the pipes. I have all of them, and you could probably hear them. You probably can't hear them over there in the land of TikToks because of this isolation mic that takes away all of that. But this unidirectional mic should only be getting me, but it picks up all of the other stuff. So the things you're not supposed to hear, you hear. You've reached your data analysis limit. Upgrade to ChatGPT Plus or try again tomorrow after 9:43 a.m. That's what it's telling me after it has consistently given me the same information over and over. The national days of the week and the questions from 2 weeks ago and the national days of the week and the question. It just, all right. going to take this chat and I'm going to take it over to the old Gemini's peoples. That's what you got to do, man. You got to have multiple. You have to have multiple AI sources available to you, and when one fails you, you have to go to the other one. So Gemini.com, by the way, not where you want to go. You want to go to Google and then Gemini, and there she blows, and I'm going to pop that in there. Please give me the National Days of the Week, a 7-question history quiz based on events that happened in history during the previous week, ending yesterday, a multiple choice answer. Answer 7-question history quiz based on events that happened in history during the previous week. Difficulty should be medium, and do not reveal the answers until prompted. Enhance. Monday is National I Don't Give a Fudge Day. That's freaking hilarious. All right, so we went to Gemini because ChatGPT failed us. I have Days of the Week's options. I have a multiple choice quiz, 7 questions, medium difficulties, and it is waiting to hold the answer. Gemini for the win. Okay. Let's get things started. Wow. So you know, if you're watching live, you get to see all of the mental illness inside my brain. But you also get to see all of this extra stuff. If you only watch on TikTok, you would only see that live. If you watched on Instagrams and other place, TikTok? Yeah, other place where I post just the date. This is milk straight from the udder. You got it? There is no pasteurization taking place. There is no this is and I instantly regret doing that. I instantly regret doing that. Yeah, okay, there we go. I just want to make sure that was working correctly. Get that back where it's supposed to be so you all can see the comments while we do this. Let's get things started with your National Days of the Week. Starting with tomorrow, Monday, September the 1st. It is I am looking at these for the very first time, okay? I see what they are. I'm thinking, which one of these things can I work with? And when I look at Monday, September the 1st, I realize none of them. I can't work with any of them. I'm going to make something of one of them. I needed to pause for a second. Here we go. Monday, September the 1st. It's National Mail Order Catalog Day. I don't know. I did not know mail order catalogs still existed. I mean, I think I get periodically that say buy our products, and it's a bunch of pictures of their products. But then you go to their website. I don't think mail order. I guess you could, if you had nothing better to do. I guess you could use a mail order catalog and write down your choices and your selections on the card, and then go get a stamp and put it in an envelope and send it off, hoping that maybe one day the carrier pigeons will deliver your message to the correct address. That's what you could hope for. Or www.randomcatalog.com, and you go in there and you punch around buttons and you fiddle with things and you spin things. Who is still using mail order catalogs? I I don't know who you are, but if you exist, you are probably a geriatric. And that's okay. I'm not going to take this away from you. You have very limited time left. So enjoy yourself on Monday, September the 1st, National Mail Order Catalog Day. Moving on, and popping down here, I have no presents. Yes, you mail order brides were once upon a thing. Yeah, you could do that. That was an actual thing. Yes, we'll do this one. Tuesday, September the 2nd. It's National Potato Day. I love potatoes. I do. I think they're the most versatile thing on the planet. I don't know of any other thing that can do as many things as the potato. You can make French fries with a potato, and you can make vodka with a potato, and you can power your alarm clock with a potato. So yeah, and there are other things that I can't remember right now, but the reason I chose National Potato Day as one of the options that I had available to me is because my lovely betrothed brought home 2. Who does that? Who goes to the store and picks out 2 potatoes? No sane person, no normal person does that. A normal person, like the rest of us, tater tots, that's a good one. A normal person, curly fries, another good one, is you get a 5-pound bag of potatoes. Anytime you go get potatoes, you pay the extra 30 cents and you get 5 pounds of them. And you could do all kinds of things. One of the other things you could do with them, my mom was good for this, is put the potatoes underneath the sink and let them grow new potatoes. We never ate we never ate the potatoes that grew underneath the sink. Because where were they getting their nutrients from? Just all the chemicals that were underneath the sink? They were probably quite toxic. But you'd leave them there long enough, forget you even had them, and they would start growing their own spuds, and those spuds would grow into things that probably would kill you. So, number 1, if you buy potatoes, buy the 5-pound bag. Always. Number 2, I'm no longer referring to vodka as vodka. Just doesn't sound healthy when you tell people, I like drinking vodka. But if you tell them, I like to drink potato juice, they're going to think you're weird. But they're also going to think you're healthy. Think about that on Tuesday, September the 2nd, National Potato Day. Moving on. I like that one. That was pretty good. I think that's going to chop up nicely. Yes, we can do... All right, for the live audience, I'm going to share what my options were. Now, I know the one I'm already going to use, but I had to think about it for a second. National Bacon Lovers Day. Who doesn't love bacon? Me. I'm fat, and I've got a heart disease. National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day. I've never had a chocolate pecan pie day, and I'm not starting now. National Accessible Air Travel Day, which is the one I will elaborate on, but it also finished with National Grab Some Nuts Day. And I really want to do National Grab Some Nuts Day. But the people who listen to my show and watch my stupid videos, I work with them. And I don't need the trouble that comes along with the potential of certain people, you know who you are, responding to National Grab Some Nuts Day. I don't need that in my life. Terrorists do like bacon, James. I'll tell you that story someday. Not officially. All right, here we go. Wednesday, September 3rd. It's National Accessible Air Travel Day. Now, I don't do any research and find out what any of this stuff means, but if we had to talk about accessible air travel, what are we talking about? Protected peoples? Are we talking about protected peoples? Because doesn't everyone pretty much have access to air travel with the exception of terrorists? I don't think we want them, people on the no-fly list like DNI, like the DNI Tulsi Gabbard. We don't want her flying around. No politics, no politics, no politics. Accessible air travel day. That you live near an airport? I don't know what they were thinking, but what comes to my mind is beefy. It is no mistake. I am not delusional, okay? I am not trans fat. I am fat. I get it. But there are people who are delusional. And when I say I'm big, I stand near them so I look small, okay? There's some big people out there, and they're entitled, and they're delusional, and they think they should be able to fly in an airplane even though they couldn't fit in this seat, right? That's how big they are. Their structures are breaking down. They just got like a fat lob there and one there and a leg that's got an extra leg on it. They're just extremely fat people who think they should be allowed to fly in airplanes. And you shouldn't. I'm sorry. I'll be the one to tell you. And I don't mean this in a bad way. It's unhealthy the way you're living. It's unhealthy the way I'm living. We should all work to be better. But if you are ginormous, okay? If you are really, really big, you can't fly in a passenger airplane. And that's not non-air travel accessibility. I just think your options are different. And this is T-Bone's standard. It's an unpopular opinion. It's one of T-Bone's unpopular opinions of the day, which used to be a button on the wheel. I got to fix that. Here's what I think. If you, as a human being, weigh more than 350 pounds, and I don't care. I don't care if you're tall, and I don't care if you're muscular, and I don't care if you're incredibly obese. Andre the Giant is a perfect example. The Big Show is another example. These people are too big for airplanes. Of the passenger variety, they should all fly as cargo. And I don't think that's wrong. Everywhere there's a plane landing, there's a cargo plane landing, okay? And a cargo plane has got room for cargo, and they could have a couple of extra big jumpy seats. So if you're 7'10", there's plenty of leg room. If you're 1,000 pounds, you don't disturb the weight of the plane. You don't take up 3 seats. Oh, I bought 3 seats. No, don't care. If you have an emotional support animal that weighs more than 100 pounds, you and the emotional support animal, your weight is combined. You should fly in cargo. That's the way you fix things. Think about that. On Wednesday, September the 3rd, National Accessible Air Travel Day. Patty takes the morning train. Okay. Here we go. Oh, that's a good one. That's the one we're going to go with. Thursday, September the 4th. It's National Toilet Paper Day. I'm not talking about it. I'm just going to ignore it and pretend that you can't hear it. That's right. September the 4th, National Toilet Paper Day. But we at the LUNSB Show, the Supplemental and the Warno, have always said for years, let's not have a National Toilet Paper Day. Let's have a National Bidet Day. We, strong supporters of bidets. Chick Brew, she lives there in Europe. That's what they do. It's all bidets over there. And in America now, they've made bidets more convenient and accessible for everybody. For as low as $50, you can have an incredibly clean bunghole without the use of very much toilet paper. And with only 2 bars, she uses 2 sheets, 2 squares. 2 bars is the most efficient person I know when it comes to using TP. TP 2 bars. She has many nicknames. So with a bidet, the only thing you use the toilet paper for, just a couple of dabs will do you, is to dry off. And if you got some flushables, those are reusable as long as it's just water on the thing. You just whoop whoop whoop, and it's still water. It's just clean. I don't want you celebrating National Toilet Paper Day. I don't want you using toilet paper. As we recently learned in an episode of the LUNSB Show, 27,000 trees a day are cut down to make toilet paper. We can reduce that number significantly if we use water to clean our bungholes. Now, think about that. On Thursday, September the 4th, National Toilet Paper Day. Front to back, you don't want a yeast infection. Front to back. In case you didn't know, James, I don't have a vagina. It would impossible front to back. I don't even know. I don't even know the math on how that works, and I'm not going to waste any time thinking about what that means. I get it, front to back for the ladies, but for me, front to back is just the way I do it. I couldn't do it any other way. I couldn't do back to front without a new joint. I would have to have a tool or something. I'm not doing that. And I spent more time talking about that than I should have. Here we go. Moving on. God bless it. You know, I just want to quit. Why do you want to quit, T-Bone? Why? Because I was doing good. I was doing good. But Gemini did not give me the date. I just assumed that the date matched up. But once I got to Friday, I realized National Kiss and Make Up Day was one that we had already done. National Banana Lovers Day was one we'd already done. National Dog Day was one we had already done. But none of these match. None of these match. I'm done. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing any more National Days of the Week this week. I am ill-prepared. I have broken 2 different AIs. They are not working. And I have a holiday weekend, and I don't want to ruin it. So I'm not doing this. I will tell you tonight, I can confirm without the assistance of any artificial intelligence that at 420 Riley Street or 240 Riley Street, either way, the Midtown Cinemas, they're in Harrisburg proper, they are having the Lancaster Film Festival. So what you get for the low price of $15 is you get to see 11 different 8-minute movies made by a bunch of talented people in and around the greater Harrisburg metropolitan area. It's going to be fine. We're going to have a good time. Damian Robinson is going to be the host. And we know people who've made films, and we know people who are in the films. And what I learned about Uber today, I'm going to save for the LUNSB Show. That's a teaser. So yeah, 240 or 420 Riley Street, there in Harrisburg. Just ask your Google box to take you to the Midtown Cinemas. I believe there's still tickets available. They're $15 a piece. The other benefit is, inside the Midtown Cinemas is the Zero Day Brewery. So you want to get some of that mango habanero beer, the most delicious beer I've ever tasted. They sell it right there from the tap because their brewery is in the back of Midtown Cinemas. So check that out. That is your comedy, community, charity note. All right, we're going to label that under community note. The Lancaster Film Festival is in Harrisburg at the Midtown Cinema tonight. Show start at 6. Can we even trust the questions? No, we can't. You know, I come here every week with the intention of giving a great show. I really do. I normally am well prepped. Everything's working great. I'm happy. I've got all of my systems are working, but I couldn't get AI to make any sense. I'm going to fly through these questions. If you want to play along, you better be ready. Here we go. I'm flying right through them. I'm serious, okay? Because I think you've heard them before, and I don't even want to deal. I'm not dealing. Here we go. In what year was the first permanent English settlement in the Americas, Jamestown? What year was that established? Here are your multiple choice options. 1492, 1607, 1776, or 1865. When was Jamestown established? I'm going to remove the biggest and the smallest and the largest number. 1492, she's gone. 1865, she's gone. That gives us 1776 and 1607. I say it was 1607. Agree, disagree, don't care. Here's your answers. 1607, James says. I like to see that. Remember, you keep your own score. Again, I'm getting right through these because I'm beyond frustrated. Feel free to answer at your leisure. What was the name of the ship on which Charles Darwin voyaged, leading to his theories on evolution? What was the name of the ship on which Charles Darwin voyaged, leading to his theories on evolution? Was it the HMS Bounty? No. Was it the USS Constitution? No. Was it the HMS Beagle? Yes. Or was it the USS Enterprise? No, I can't think of making this any easier for you than AI already made it. It wasn't the Bounty. It wasn't the USS either or. It was the HMS Beagle. All right, Jessica popped in with 1607, Robert 1607, James like 1607. I like 1607. We agree. Chick Brew, nuance, whatever. Question number 3, the Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I, was signed what year? Enterprise? Seriously? Stop it. The Treaty of Versailles, which ended World War I, was signed in what year? Was it 1914, 1918, 1919, 1945? Again, 1914, gone. 1945, gone. Down between 1918 and 1919. I believe World War I last ended in 1918. That is my answer. That is my final answer. The Treaty of Versailles, 1918. Looking back up real quick, I got Enterprise, Beagle, 1918. Question number 4, the famous "I Have a Dream" speech was delivered by Martin Luther King Jr. during what major event? Was it the Selma to Montgomery marches, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, the Montgomery bus boycott, or was it the Civil Rights Act of 1964 signing? The "I Have a Dream" speech, was it done for the Selma to Montgomery march, the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, the Montgomery bus boycott, and the Civil Rights Act of 1964 signing? Which one was it? Well, the answer, if you haven't figured it out, was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. He delivered it right there on the mall in front of the mall thingy. Question number 5. Who was the last emperor of the Aztec Empire? He was captured by the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés. Who was the last emperor of the Aztec Empire who was captured by the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés? Was it Moctezuma II, Atahualpa, Cuauhtémoc, or Pacach? Man, there are 4 names here I can't pronounce. I would say the first one is Montezuma II, but there's a C thrown in there. The second one, Atahualpa. I did really good on Hernán Cortés, but I don't know these other names. Cuauhtémoc and Pacauti. You're going with Montezuma. Also going with Montezuma because it's a name we all know, right? I think it's going to be the C for some reason, because when we get down into Mexico. So I'm going to go with C. Which of the following, question number 6, which of the following events is considered the start of the Great Depression? Was it the attack on Pearl Harbor, Black Tuesday, the start of World War II, or the assassination of Franz Ferdinand II? No, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, not the second. Which of the following events is considered the start of the Great Depression? The attack on Pearl Harbor, Black Tuesday, the start of World War II, or the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand? My answer, Black Tuesday. You got people jumping out of buildings because they lost everything, and it all went to shite from there. Finally, question number 7. The Declaration of Independence was signed on what day? Do we really need to do a multiple choice answer here? The Declaration of Independence was signed on what day? If you needed a clue, in the future, that day will be known as Independence Day. And that's when the aliens arrive and they blow up a bunch of things, to include the White House. And then Will Smith saves us all. Him and Jeff Goldblum. I think that answered itself. Let's see. Answers, please. I will ask. Is this my best? No. And I'm sorry. Do I do this for you? Absolutely. And I hope you enjoy it. The answers are as follows. I hope you got them all in. Question number 1, of course, was 1607. Good job, everybody. Question number 2 was the Beagle, not the Enterprise. James. Question number 3, Jessica, only one to get it right. It was, in fact, 1919. Question number 4 was the March on Washington. Question number 5 was C. The name I cannot pronounce, Cuauhtémoc, was the last Aztec emperor. He was the nephew of Moctezuma II and led the defense of Tenochtitlan against the Spanish before his capture and execution by Hernán Cortés in 1525. Which for me, very funny, because when I was in Mexico, I found Mr. Taney's lookalike. His doppelganger was a little guy working in Mexico. Question number 6. The stock market crash of October 22nd, 1929, known as Black Tuesday, is largely considered the reason for the Great Depression. And finally, to no one's surprise, the Declaration of Independence was signed on, that's right, July the 4th. That's all I got for you. I don't even have a host for this week's show, so, I mean, could it get any worse? But I'll figure it out. I always do. Ladies and gentlemen, I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you can be. And if you were a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Brew sends her love. And with that, I am out. LUNSB.